I've always dreamt of touching the stars, but today, as I strapped myself into the shuttle seat, reality felt even more surreal than any dream I've ever had. The hum of the engines, the sterile smell of the spacecraft, the heavy suit pressing against my body, all of it confirmed that this was no longer a fantasy. I was bound for the moon. Emily, how are you holding up? Captain Daniel Mitchell's voice crackled through my headset. His tone was as steady as ever, exuding the kind of calm confidence that only years of training and experience could bring. Feeling like I could conquer the universe, I replied, trying to match his nonchalance. My heart was pounding, a mix of exhilaration and anxiety. Daniel chuckled softly. That's the spirit, Dr. Carter. Let's make history. Across from me, Dr. Leo Bennett flashed me a reassuring smile. Leo, with his boyish charm and unruly hair, was the astrophysicist who had a knack for making even the most complex theories sound like bedtime stories. He mouthed, "You got this." And I felt a little of my tension melt away. Sergeant Nadia Rivera was busy double-checking her equipment. Her sharp eyes missed nothing, and her efficient movements reminded me of the countless hours we'd spent training together. She caught me watching and nodded, her silent way of saying, "We're in this together." And then there was Luna, our AI assistant. Her voice was the calmest of all, devoid of any human emotion, yet oddly comforting. "All systems are go. Prepare for liftoff." The countdown began, and with each passing second, my anticipation grew. 10, 9, 8. I gripped the armrests, feeling the vibration of the engines intensify. 7, 6, 5. I glanced at Leo, who gave me a thumbs up. 4, 3, 2. I took a deep breath. 1. The force of the liftoff pushed me back into my seat, and the world outside the window blurred into a streak of colors. We were on our way. The journey to the moon was a blend of monotony and awe. In the weightlessness of space, everything seemed to move in slow motion. We floated, worked, and slept in shifts, constantly aware of the delicate balance required to keep our bodies and minds sharp. Leo and I spent a lot of time together, running simulations, checking data, and when we could, simply talking. His passion for the stars was infectious, and he had a way of making me feel like we were the only two people in the universe. "Ever think about what's out there?" he asked one evening as we gazed out at the vast expanse of space. "I mean, really out there, beyond what we can see." "All the time," I admitted. "It's like looking at a giant puzzle with most of the pieces missing." "Exactly," he said, his eyes lighting up. "And we're here to find those pieces." Our conversations ranged from the scientific to the personal. He told me about his family, his childhood fascination with astronomy, and the dreams that had driven him to join this mission. In return, I shared my own story, my relentless curiosity, my love for exploration, and the sacrifices I'd made to get here. It was during one of these late-night talks that we first picked up the mysterious signals. Luna detected them, faint and irregular, like whispers from another world. "Do you hear that?" Leo asked, his brow furrowing as he adjusted the controls. I leaned in, listening intently. "What is it?" "Unknown source," Luna interjected. "Frequency does not match any known patterns." Daniel joined us, his expression serious. "We'll investigate once we've landed. For now, stay focused." Finally, after days that felt like months, the moon loomed large outside our windows. The gray, desolate landscape was both eerie and beautiful, a stark reminder of the isolation and wonder that awaited us. As we began our descent, the shuttle shuddered violently. Alarms blared, and Luna's calm voice cut through the chaos. "Technical malfunction detected, stabilizing." My heart raced as Daniel and Nadia worked feverishly to regain control. Leo grabbed my hand, his grip steady despite the turbulence. "We've got this," he said, and I held on to that belief with everything I had. The shuttle jerked and swayed, but gradually the shaking subsided. We touched down with a thud, and a collective sigh of relief filled the cabin. "We made it," Daniel announced, his voice betraying a hint of emotion. "Welcome to the moon, team." Stepping onto the lunar surface for the first time was an indescribable experience. The ground beneath my boots was powdery and firm, and the horizon stretched endlessly in every direction. The earth hung in the sky like a distant jewel, a poignant reminder of the world we'd left behind. We set up our base, a flurry of activity that left little time for reflection. There were habitats to erect, equipment to calibrate, and experiments to prepare. Every task brought us closer to our goals. and despite the exhaustion, there was a palpable sense of excitement. As I looked around at my crewmates, Daniel's determined focus, Nadia's unyielding strength, Leo's boundless curiosity, and even Luna's unerring efficiency, I felt a swell of pride. We were pioneers, explorers on the frontier of human knowledge. And somewhere in the depths of space, something was reaching out to us. The signals continued, faint but persistent, a mystery that beckoned us to unravel it. Our journey had just begun. Our days on the moon quickly fell into a rhythm. Each morning began with a check-in from Luna, who provided updates on our experiments and any new findings. The mysterious signals persisted, a constant reminder of the unknowns we had yet to uncover. Still no matches on the signals, Leo reported during one of our daily briefings. His eyes were tired but determined. It's like nothing we've ever encountered. Keep at it, Daniel replied, his tone resolute. We'll figure it out. We have to. Setting up the lunar base was no small feat. Nadia, ever the resourceful engineer, took charge, directing us with military precision. We established our habitats, erected solar panels, and set up our scientific equipment. Every task, no matter how mundane, was critical to our survival and success. One afternoon, as Nadia and I were out on a routine survey of the surrounding area, our instruments detected an unusual energy signature. It was faint, buried deep beneath the surface, but unmistakable. Emily, you're seeing this, right? Nadia asked, her voice crackling over the comms. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. Yeah, I see it. Let's dig. Using our equipment, we began to excavate the area. The lunar dust was stubborn, but we worked tirelessly, driven by a sense of anticipation. After what felt like hours, we unearthed something extraordinary. It was an artifact, unlike anything I had ever seen. Smooth and metallic, it pulsed with a soft blue light. Symbols etched into its surface glowed faintly, casting eerie shadows on the ground. Nadia, this is incredible, I whispered, my voice filled with awe. We need to get this back to the base. Carefully, we transported the artifact to our habitat, where Leo and Daniel were waiting. Leo's eyes widened as he examined it, his excitement palpable. This is ancient, he murmured, running his fingers over the symbols, and it's definitely not human. Daniel's expression was a mix of caution and curiosity. Let's not jump to conclusions. We need to analyze it thoroughly. We spent the next several days studying the artifact. Leo worked tirelessly to decipher the symbols, while Nadia and I ran tests to determine its composition and origin. The artifact seemed to be a repository of knowledge, a message from an ancient civilization. One evening, as we pored over our findings, the artifact suddenly activated. A holographic projection emerged, filling the room with a spectral light. An alien figure, tall and majestic, appeared before us. Its voice was melodic, though we couldn't understand the language. Luna, translate, Daniel ordered, his eyes fixed on the projection. Translating, Luna replied. The voice shifted, the alien language morphing into words we could understand. Travelers of the stars, heed our warning, the figure said. A great cosmic event approaches, one that could threaten your world. This artifact contains the knowledge to prevent it. Use it wisely. A heavy silence fell over the room as the projection faded. The weight of the message settled over us, its implications staggering. We need to get this information to Earth, Daniel said, breaking the silence. They need to know what's coming. Leo nodded, his mind already racing with possibilities. We need to understand this artifact completely. There might be more clues here, something we're missing. As we delved deeper into the artifact's secrets, tensions began to rise. The urgency of the cosmic threat loomed over us, and the stakes had never been higher. Emily and Daniel clashed over the best course of action, revealing deep-seated personal and professional conflicts that had simmered beneath the surface. You're not thinking clearly, Daniel, I argued, frustration coloring my voice. We need to gather more data before we act. We can't risk sending incomplete information back to Earth. And we can't risk doing nothing, Daniel shot back. Every second counts. If this event is as catastrophic as it sounds, we don't have time to waste. Leo and Nadia watched the exchange in silence, their expressions mirroring the tension that filled the room. Luna, ever the impartial observer, monitored our discussions, ready to assist with any technical needs. Despite our disagreements, we pressed on, determined to unlock the artifact's full potential. Leo made a breakthrough, deciphering part of the alien language. The symbols hinted at a solution to the cosmic event, something hidden on the moon itself. "Look at this," Leo said, pointing to a section of the artifact. "These symbols, they suggest there's more to find here. A source of energy, something we can use to avert the disaster." The revelation was both exhilarating and daunting. We had come to the moon for research, but now we were on the brink of uncovering a solution that could save Earth. "We need to find it," I said, my resolve hardening. "Whatever it takes, we need to find it." As we prepared for the next phase of our mission, the mysterious signals continued, now intertwined with the artifact's energy. The moon held more secrets than we had ever imagined, and we were determined to uncover them all. Our journey had taken an unexpected turn, but together, we were ready to face whatever lay ahead. The fate of our world depended on it. The days that followed were a blur of frantic activity and high tension. We worked around the clock, driven by the urgency of the alien warning and the need to uncover the hidden source of energy on the moon. Every discovery brought new questions, and every question added to the weight on our shoulders. Leo and I spent countless hours in the lab, poring over the symbols and running simulations. His excitement was infectious, but beneath it I could sense his anxiety. "Emily, look at this," he said one evening, his voice tinged with both excitement and exhaustion. "I think I found something." I moved to his side, peering at the data on the screen. "What is it?" "These symbols here. They correspond to a location on the moon's surface. If I'm reading this right, there's a hidden chamber there containing the energy source we need." My heart skipped a beat. "Are you sure?" "As sure as I can be without seeing it myself," he replied, his eyes meeting mine. "We need to check it out." We presented our findings to Daniel and Nadia. Daniel was skeptical, his brow furrowed as he studied the data. "This could be a wild goose chase," he said. "We're already stretched thin. Can we afford to divert resources for this?" "We can't afford not to," Leo countered. "If this energy source is real, it could be the key to preventing the disaster." Daniel's eyes flicked to me. "What do you think, Emily?" I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the decision. "I think we have to take the chance. If there's even a possibility that this could save Earth, we have to try." Daniel nodded slowly. "All right, we'll send a team to investigate. Nadia, you're with Emily and Leo. I'll coordinate from here." The next morning, we set out for the coordinates Leo had identified. The lunar rover carried us across the desolate landscape, the only sounds the hum of the engine and the crunch of the wheels on the regolith. The Earth hung low in the sky, a constant reminder of what was at stake. As we approached the location, our instruments picked up a strong energy signature. Leo's eyes widened as he checked the readings. "We're close," he said, his voice filled with anticipation. We suited up and began to excavate the area, our tools cutting through the lunar soil. After several hours of digging, we uncovered an entrance, a narrow tunnel leading deep into the moon's crust. "Looks like you were right," Nadia said, her voice echoing slightly in the confined space. "Let's see what's down there." We descended into the tunnel, our headlamps casting eerie shadows on the walls. The air grew cooler as we went deeper, and the energy readings intensified. At the end of the tunnel, we found the chamber. It was a vast, domed room, its walls covered in more of the alien symbols. In the center stood a crystalline structure, pulsating with a brilliant blue light. "This is it," Leo whispered, his voice filled with awe. "The energy source." As we approached the structure, Luna's voice crackled through our comms. "Energy levels are stable. Recommend further analysis before interaction." Nadia began setting up the equipment to study the structure, while Leo and I examined the symbols on the walls. The more we read, the clearer it became that this was indeed the key to preventing the cosmic event. "This structure can harness and amplify energy," Leo explained, his eyes alight with excitement. "If we can figure out how to control it, we can redirect the energy to neutralize the threat." We worked tirelessly, decoding the instructions left by the ancient civilization. But as we delved deeper, we uncovered a troubling revelation. "Emily, look at this," Leo said, his voice tinged with alarm. "These symbols, they suggest that the energy source is unstable. If we're not careful, we could trigger a catastrophic event." My heart sank. "So we're dealing with a double-edged sword. If we get this wrong, we could make things worse." Nadia's voice cut through our discussion. We don't have a choice. We need to make this work, but we need to be absolutely certain of what we're doing. As we continued our work, tensions within the team began to surface. Daniel, coordinating from the base, grew increasingly frustrated with our slow progress. "We're running out of time," he said during one of our briefings. "You need to find a way to stabilize that energy source, and you need to do it now." "We're doing everything we can," I replied, struggling to keep my composure. "But this isn't something we can rush. If we make a mistake, it could be disastrous." Leo's face was etched with worry. "We need more time. We're close, but we're not there yet." But time was a luxury we didn't have. The pressure mounted, and the strain began to take its toll on all of us. And then we discovered something that changed everything. As we analyzed the alien language further, we found references to another entity, an entity that had tampered with the artifact. The more we uncovered, the clearer it became that someone, or something, had been manipulating our mission from the start. "Luna, run a diagnostic on your systems," Daniel ordered. "Check for any anomalies." "Running diagnostic," Luna replied. Moments later, her voice returned. "Anomaly detected. External interference with core programming." The revelation hit us like a punch to the gut. Someone had tampered with Luna and by extension our mission. But who? And why? As we scrambled to uncover the truth, suspicions began to rise within the team. Daniel's behavior grew more erratic, his decisions more aggressive. He was hiding something, and it was tearing us apart. "We need to figure out who's behind this," Leo said, his voice shaking with anger. "We need to know what we're up against." The stakes had never been higher, and the trust within our team was eroding. The cosmic event loomed closer, and we were running out of time. We had to find a way to stabilize the energy source, uncover the truth behind the tampering, and save Earth from imminent disaster. Our journey had taken a dark turn, but we were determined to see it through. The fate of our world depended on it. The tension within our team reached a boiling point. The pressure of our mission, coupled with the revelation of Luna's tampering, created a volatile mix. Trust was in short supply, and every interaction felt like walking on a razor's edge. As Leo and I continued to work on stabilizing the energy source, our bond deepened. The long hours spent deciphering alien symbols and running simulations drew us closer together. Despite the chaos, moments of genuine connection shone through the darkness. "Emily," Leo said one night as we took a rare break, "I don't know what we'll find in the end, but I'm glad we're in this together." I smiled, feeling a warmth spread through me that had nothing to do with the cold, sterile environment. "Me too, Leo. Whatever happens, we'll face it together." But as our relationship grew stronger, the cracks within the team widened. Daniel's erratic behavior became more pronounced, and his secretive actions raised more questions than answers. "Emily, we need to talk," Nadia said one evening, pulling me aside. Her face was etched with concern. "I've been monitoring Daniel. He's been sending unauthorized communications to an unknown recipient." My heart sank. "Are you sure?" She nodded. "Positive. He's been hiding something from us, and I don't think we can trust him." The weight of her words settled over me like a heavy fog. Daniel had always been the steadfast leader, the one who kept us focused and grounded. But now his actions were threatening to unravel everything we'd worked for. "We need to confront him," I said, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside me. "We need to know the truth." Together, Nadia and I approached Daniel. He was hunched over a console, his face illuminated by the soft glow of the screen. "Daniel, we need to talk," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "We know about the unauthorized communications." He looked up, his eyes hard. "You've been spying on me?" "We had to," Nadia replied, her tone firm. "You've been hiding something from us, and we need to know what it is." Daniel's jaw clenched, and for a moment I thought he might refuse. But then he sighed, his shoulders sagging. "You're right. I have been hiding something." He paused, gathering his thoughts. "I've been in contact with a group on Earth, a rogue faction. They believe the artifact's power can be harnessed for our benefit, to control and dominate. They think they can use it to create a new world order." The revelation hit me like a punch to the gut. "And you're working with them?" "No," he said quickly. "I've been trying to gather information, to understand their plans. I thought I could use their knowledge to help us stabilize the energy source, but things got out of hand." Nadia's eyes blazed with anger. You risked our mission for this? Daniel looked genuinely remorseful. I didn't see any other way. The pressure to succeed, to find a solution, it got to me. I made a mistake. The room was silent as we absorbed his words. The trust between us had been shattered, but there was still a mission to complete, and the stakes were too high to let personal conflicts derail us. We need to move forward, I said finally. We'll deal with the fallout later. Right now, we need to focus on stabilizing the energy source and stopping the cosmic event. Daniel nodded, his expression somber. Agreed. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right. As we returned to our work, the atmosphere was tense but resolute. There was a newfound determination in all of us, a recognition that our mission transcended any individual failings. We had to succeed, for the sake of Earth and for the memory of the trust we once shared. Days turned into nights as we labored tirelessly. The energy source, a beacon of alien ingenuity, held both the promise of salvation and the threat of annihilation. We had to decipher its secrets, to control its power without triggering a catastrophic event, and then we made a breakthrough. Emily, I think I've got it, Leo said, his voice tinged with both excitement and exhaustion. The key to stabilizing the energy source, it's in these symbols here. They describe a sequence, a method to channel and control the energy safely. We gathered around the console, our eyes scanning the intricate patterns. Leo's interpretation was brilliant, a testament to his expertise and determination. We can do this, I said, feeling a spark of hope. We can stop the cosmic event. But as we prepared to implement the sequence, a new challenge emerged. Luna, her system still compromised, issued a warning. External interference detected. Unauthorized access to core systems. The rogue faction on Earth was making their move, trying to seize control of the artifact's power. We need to act fast, Nadia said, her hands flying over the controls. We can't let them take control. In the midst of the chaos, Leo and I worked frantically to input the stabilization sequence. The energy source pulsed erratically, its light fluctuating as if it were alive. Almost there, Leo muttered, his fingers trembling. Just a few more adjustments. But just as we were about to complete the sequence, an alarm blared. The rogue faction had breached our systems, threatening to undo everything we'd worked for. Emily, we need to shut them out, Daniel said, his voice urgent. I'll handle the override. You and Leo finish the sequence. As Daniel fought to regain control of Luna, Leo and I focused on the energy source. The room was filled with a hum of power, a tangible sense of both danger and possibility. Got it, Leo exclaimed as he input the final command. Energy source stabilized, its pulsating light becoming steady and calm. We did it, I whispered, feeling a wave of relief wash over me. We actually did it. But our victory was short-lived. As we celebrated, Daniel's voice cut through the comms, filled with desperation. They've locked me out, he said. I can't regain control. They're going to activate the artifact remotely. Panic surged through me. Leo, can we shut it down manually? He shook his head, his face pale. Not without triggering a catastrophic event. We're out of options. In that moment, I realized what we had to do. The only way to stop the rogue faction was to destroy the artifact, to sacrifice the knowledge and power it contained. We need to destroy it, I said, my voice steady despite the fear in my heart. It's the only way to ensure they can't use it. Leo's eyes met mine, filled with a mixture of sadness and determination. You're right. We have to do it. Together we set the charges, our movements precise and deliberate. As we prepared to detonate, I felt a profound sense of loss. The artifact represented so much potential, so much hope, but its power was too dangerous to fall into the wrong hands. Emily, Leo said softly, taking my hand. No matter what happens, I'm glad we did this together. Me too, I replied, squeezing his hand. Let's finish this. With a final deep breath, we activated the charges. The explosion rocked the chamber, a burst of light and sound that seemed to echo through the very fabric of the moon. When the dust settled, the artifact was gone, its power extinguished. The rogue faction's plan had been thwarted, but at a great cost. As we made our way back to the base, the weight of our actions pressed down on us. We had saved Earth, but the price had been high. Back at the base, Daniel looked at us with a mixture of gratitude and sorrow. You did the right thing, he said. You saved us all. But as I looked at Leo, I knew that the cost of our victory would haunt us for a long time. We had faced the unknown, had overcome insurmountable odds, but the journey had changed us all. Our mission was complete, but our story was far from over. The bonds we had forged, the sacrifices we had made, these would stay with us, shaping our futures in ways we could never have imagined. The moon had revealed its secrets, but it had also revealed us to ourselves, showing us the depths of our courage, our love, and our capacity for betrayal and redemption. And as we prepared for our journey home, I knew that we would carry these lessons with us, no matter where the stars might lead. Our return to Earth was bittersweet. As the spacecraft descended through the atmosphere, the familiar blue and green hues of our home planet filled the viewports. But the weight of our experiences on the moon, the secrets we had uncovered, and the choices we had made hung heavily over us. Leo, Nadia, Daniel, and I had been through an ordeal that bound us together in ways no one else could understand. We had faced unimaginable challenges, and though we had triumphed, it had come at a great cost. The artifact, with its untold potential, was gone. The rogue faction had been thwarted, but their threat still lingered in the shadows. The landing was smooth, the familiar pull of gravity grounding us once more. As the hatch opened and we stepped onto solid ground, a wave of relief washed over me. We were home. But nothing felt quite the same. A contingent of officials awaited us, their faces a mix of relief and curiosity. They had been briefed on our mission, but the full story was ours to tell. "Welcome back," a high-ranking officer said, his voice solemn. "We're eager to hear your report." Daniel, as our mission leader, took charge. He spoke of the discoveries, the warnings from the ancient civilization, and the sacrifices we had made to save our world. He left out the details of his own betrayal, a truth that would remain between us, at least for now. Leo and I provided technical details, our voices steady as we recounted the steps we had taken to stabilize the energy source and ultimately destroy the artifact. Nadia spoke of the rogue faction's interference, the danger they posed, and the need for vigilance. The debriefing was long and exhaustive. By the end of it, we were physically and emotionally drained. But we had done our duty. We had saved Earth. In the days that followed, we tried to adjust to life back on Earth. But the transition was difficult. The memories of the moon, of the alien warnings and the cosmic threat haunted our every thought. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Leo and I took a walk along the shoreline. The waves crashed gently against the rocks, the sound soothing in its familiarity. "Do you think we did the right thing?" Leo asked, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "Destroying the artifact?" I thought about his question, about the weight of the decision we had made. "Yes," I said finally. "We couldn't risk that power falling into the wrong hands. It was too dangerous." He nodded, but I could see the doubt lingering in his eyes. "I keep thinking about what we lost, the knowledge, the potential to learn so much more about the universe." "I know," I replied softly, "but sometimes the cost is too high. We made the best choice we could with the information we had." He turned to me, his expression serious. "What now, Emily? What do we do next?" I took a deep breath, feeling the cool sea breeze on my face. "We move forward. We use what we've learned to protect our world, and we stay vigilant because the rogue faction is still out there." His hand found mine, a comforting presence amidst the uncertainty. "Together?" "Together," I agreed, squeezing his hand. "Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." Our journey on the moon had changed us, but it had also given us a new purpose. We had faced the unknown and come out stronger for it. And now, we would use that strength to safeguard our future. Back at the base, Daniel and Nadia were working on a new initiative. The rogue faction's interference had made it clear that we needed to be prepared for any future threats. We would not be caught off guard again. "Emily, Leo, we need you," Daniel said one day, his tone earnest. "We're setting up a task force to monitor and counter any rogue activities. Your expertise is crucial." Leo and I exchanged a look, a silent understanding passing between us. "We're in," I said. "We're not done yet." The weeks turned into months as we dedicated ourselves to the new mission. The task force grew, bringing in experts from various fields. Our experiences on the moon had taught us the importance of unity and vigilance, and we were determined to protect Earth from any future threats. One night, as I worked late in the lab, Leo joined me, a cup of coffee in each hand. "Thought you could use this," he said with a smile, handing me a cup. Thanks, I said, taking a sip and savoring the warmth. How's the analysis going? He sat down beside me, his expression thoughtful. Slow, but we're making progress. The data we gathered on the moon is invaluable. We're starting to see patterns, connections we didn't understand before. I nodded, feeling a sense of pride in our work. We're doing good here, Leo. We're making a difference. He reached out, his hand covering mine. We are, and we'll keep going no matter what. As we continued our work, the bond between us grew stronger. We had faced the worst the universe could throw at us and emerged on the other side, scarred but unbroken. And as long as we had each other, we knew we could face whatever came next. The moon had revealed its secrets, but it had also revealed us to ourselves. It had shown us our strengths, our vulnerabilities, and our capacity for love and sacrifice. And it had given us a mission, a purpose that would guide us for the rest of our lives. As we looked up at the night sky, the moon shining brightly above, we knew that our journey was far from over. The stars held countless mysteries, and we were ready to face them together. The end was just the beginning.